Hello everyone, it's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids. Today we're going on an incredible journey back in time to ancient Ireland to learn about a very special saint whose feast day is on November 9th. His name is Saint Benen, but he was also known as Benignus, which means friendly or kind. He was one of St. Patrick's closest friends and his most important disciple. So, grab your imagination and let's explore the amazing life of Saint Benen. Our story begins in County Meath, Ireland, a long time ago. Benen was the son of a powerful Irish chieftain named Saint Benen. Back then, most people in Ireland weren't Christian. But one day, a famous missionary arrived at their home. Can you guess who it was? That's right, it was St. Patrick. When St. Patrick visited Benen's family, his kindness and his powerful stories about Jesus touched their hearts so deeply that the whole family, including Benen's father, the chieftain, decided to become Christians. Young Benen, who was only about 7 years old, was completely captivated. He looked at St. Patrick and saw someone he wanted to be just like. Didn't want to just listen to stories, he wanted to be part of the adventure. So, with a heart full of courage and faith, he begged his parents and St. Patrick to let him leave home and travel with him to spread the good news all over Ireland. Amazingly, his family agreed. They saw the fire for God in their son's eyes. And so, Benen's incredible journey began. Because of his sweet and gentle personality, everyone started calling him Benignus, the kind one. But that wasn't his only gift. Benen had a beautiful singing voice. St. Patrick quickly noticed this and made him his official psalm singer. Imagine that. Benen's job was to lead the singing during church services. His voice was so angelic and filled with such love for God that people would travel from all over just to hear him sing. Many were so moved by his music that they too decided to follow Jesus. Together, Benen and Patrick traveled across the beautiful green hills of Ireland. There's a famous legend about them called the Deer's Cry. One time, the local king, King Loghair, was very angry with Patrick for sharing the Christian faith. He set up an ambush to capture Patrick and his friends. As Patrick and his group walked toward the king's court, they prayed a special prayer for protection, now known as St. Patrick's breastplate. When the king's soldiers looked, they didn't see people. All they saw was a group of deer and one little fawn walking by. That little fawn was said to be young Benen, carrying St. Patrick's holy books on his back. God had protected them in a miraculous way. Another time to prove whose power was greater, the king's magic or God's, trial by fire was proposed. It sounds scary, but listen to what happened. A druid, one of the king's advisors, stood on one side of a wooden hut, and young Benen stood on the other. The hut was set on fire. The druid was completely burned, but when the flames died down, Benen stood there, completely unharmed. God had shown everyone that his power was the greatest of all, and Benen's faith had kept him safe. As Benen grew older, he wasn't just St. Patrick's psalm singer anymore. He became his right-hand man. St. Patrick trusted him so much that he sent Benen to parts of Ireland that he couldn't reach himself, like Kerry, Clare, and Connaught. In these places, Benen built churches and monasteries, places where people could pray and learn about God. He was a great leader, founding important monasteries at places like Kilbannon and Drumleys. He also helped with very important work, like writing down the laws of the land and creating beautiful books of psalms and rites, like the Psalter of Cashel and the Book of Rites. He was helping to build the very foundation of Christianity in Ireland. St. Patrick knew that Benen was wise, faithful, and a true leader. So when it was time for Patrick to retire, who do you think he chose to take his place? He chose Benen. In the year 465, Benen became the Bishop of Armagh, which meant he was the head of the entire church in Ireland. What an amazing journey from a young boy following a saint to becoming the leader who would continue his work. Benen served as bishop for a couple of years before passing away in 467. But his story doesn't end there. Saint Benen's legacy is huge. He is remembered as a man of great holiness and kindness, who played a vital role in making Ireland a Christian nation. He is now the patron saint of a whole region of Ireland called Connaught. So, what can we learn from Saint Benen? He was a great leader, wasn't he? He only became a great leader because he was first a great follower. He chose to follow St. Patrick, but more importantly, he chose to follow Jesus. He made Jesus his northern star. Have you ever heard of the Northern Star? For thousands of years, sailors and travelers would look for the Northern Star in the night sky to guide them. It was a fixed point that they could always rely on to know which way to go so they wouldn't get lost. When we say Jesus is our Northern Star, it means we look to him to guide our lives. We follow his teachings and his example to make sure we're on the right path. Think about it. Who in your life has been like a Saint Patrick to you, who has encouraged you to follow Jesus? Maybe it's your parents or grandparents, a teacher, a coach, or a good friend. We all need people to encourage us to keep our eyes on our Northern Star. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus said to his first disciples, "Come, follow me." That invitation wasn't just for them. It was for Saint Patrick. It was for Saint Benen. And that same invitation is for you, right here, right now. Following Jesus is the most exciting adventure you can ever have. It helps you discover who you were truly created to be. It helps you find your unique gifts, just like Benen found his gift for singing. It helps you understand your purpose in this big, wide world. But following Jesus isn't always easy. In fact, it often means being different. It means choosing love when the world chooses anger. It means choosing honesty when others might cheat. It means being brave and standing up for what's right, even if you're standing alone. It is a radical and countercultural choice. You have to be prepared to dare to be different. But when you do, you'll discover a connection with God that is more amazing than you can ever imagine. So I have a question for you today. What is your Northern Star? How can you recommit to following Jesus, just like Saint Benen did? Maybe it's by praying a little more each day, reading a story from the Bible, or doing a kind act for someone without being asked. Search your heart. Are you ready to get started on that adventure? Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about the incredible Saint Benen. He shows us that no matter how young we are, we can have a powerful faith and do great things for God. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories about the saints. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. We'll see you next time in other interesting videos. Bye for now, and may the Lord bless you and keep you always.